Here is what nobody tells you about color after 60. The colors that worked for you at 40, the ones that felt strong, clean, and polished, are quietly doing something different to your skin now. Not because your taste has changed, because your skin has. The undertones have shifted. The melanin distribution is different. The way light bounces off your face at 60 is biologically not the same as it was at 45, and the colors hanging in your wardrobe have not been updated to match that reality. Most women respond by defaulting to black or avoiding color entirely. Both are mistakes. Here are the 8 colors that actually work with what post-60 skin is doing, and why. 1. French navy. Most women treat navy as a safer substitute for black. That framing is wrong. A color consultant who has worked with senior women at major private equity firms told me something I've shared more than almost anything else. She said, "Black absorbs all light." After 60, when skin has less natural luminosity, black pulls what little light the face has left and takes it down into the garment. Navy reflects just enough blue light back toward the face to create contrast without stripping the skin's remaining warmth. Research from the Color Association of the United States confirms this. Shadow after 60 reads as depth, which means lines, not definition. French navy specifically, not bright navy, not cobalt, but the muted, slightly grayed navy used by French fashion houses, sits at the precise wavelength that flatters cooled post-60 undertones without the harshness of true black. 2. Dusty rose. Most women either embrace pink after 60 or abandon it entirely, treating it as too young. Both responses miss what this color is actually doing. Skin after 60 has reduced hemoglobin expression at the surface, the biological process that gives skin its natural pinkish-red undertone in youth. Dermatologists at the University of St. Andrews found that this chromatic loss is one of the primary signals observers read as aging. More than lines, more than volume loss, dusty rose, specifically the muted gray-pink tones, not bubblegum, reflects that lost chromatic signal back onto the face. It lends the skin what the skin is no longer producing independently. Wear it near the face. The placement is everything. 3. Oyster White. Most women reach for true white in summer and cream in winter, believing this is the correct distinction. It isn't. Color scientists describe simultaneous contrast, the visual phenomenon where the eye calibrates to the brightest element in a scene first, making adjacent tones appear darker by comparison. After 60, true white at the neckline creates a brightness differential that skin simply cannot compete with. The face loses oyster white, the slightly warm, slightly grayed white used in couture linings and fine Italian shirting, eliminates that differential while reflecting significantly more light toward the face than cream, which absorbs light rather than redirecting it. It is the exact midpoint post-60 skin needs. 4. Slate Gray. Most women who wear gray default to charcoal or pale silver. Both do something unflattering that slate gray does not. Charcoal is dark enough to create shadow contrast, but warm enough to activate yellow undertones in post-60 skin. Pale silver competes with the face the way true white does. Slate gray, the cool mid-depth gray with blue-green undertones, creates facial contrast without shadow, without warmth activation, and without luminosity competition. Research from the London College of Fashion found that slate and blue-green tones were consistently associated with authority and health across female respondents over 55. It also works across virtually all post-60 complexion types without conditions. No other neutral does that. 5. Soft sage. A stylist who has dressed women for significant public-facing roles for over 2 decades told me she introduced sage into client wardrobes, not for the client, but for the people looking at the client. She said, "Sage creates a calm field. It lowers the visual temperature of a room. And when the person wearing it is calm, they read as authoritative." Research from the University of Essex found that soft green tones measurably reduce observer stress response and increase perceived trustworthiness of the person associated with that color. Soft sage near the face doesn't read as green to the skin. It reads as neutrality with authority built in. It makes the woman wearing it look composed before she speaks. 6. Deep burgundy. Most women over 60 avoid the red family entirely, believing it's too bold or too young. That belief is costing them one of the most effective colors available to post-60 skin. Dermatology research shows that skin's natural red hemoglobin signals cool significantly after 60, shifting the complexion toward more yellow-gray territory. Pure red creates a stark contrast against cooled post-60 skin that reads as effort. Deep burgundy, specifically the blue-red, wine-adjacent tones, echoes the cooled hemoglobin signal the skin retains, amplifies it, and reads as healthy skin at its best, rather than a color fighting the skin's natural state. Wear it at the neckline and watch what it does to your face. 7. Warm taupe. Most women use taupe, beige, and camel interchangeably. They are not the same, and choosing the wrong one has a measurable consequence on post-60 skin. Camel has significant yellow-orange undertones. Post-60 skin, which has lost much of its cool pink and red surface pigmentation, tends toward yellow-gray in its base tone. When camel sits near that face, both the color and the skin are in the same warm yellow register. They don't contrast, they compete, and the skin loses. Warm taupe contains the same earth warmth as camel, but with gray neutralized into it, giving the skin something slightly cooler to push against. The contrast reads as healthy, not washed out. 8. Chocolate brown. Most women who moved away from black default to navy or gray for dark anchoring tones. Chocolate brown is consistently overlooked, and it accomplishes something none of the others can. It is the only warmth-adjacent dark that does not activate the yellow contrast problem that makes camel difficult for post-60 skin. Its darkness creates the same structural anchoring that navy and slate gray provide. Visual weight, authority, depth, while its warm red-brown undertones reflect amber light back toward the face. In candlelight, in golden hour light, in the warm indoor lighting most restaurants and event spaces use, chocolate brown is the best dark neutral in the wardrobe. It doesn't compete with the skin. It collaborates with it, French navy over black. It reflects rather than absorbs. Dusty rose to restore your skin's lost chromatic signal. Oyster white at the neckline. Eliminate the luminosity differential. Slate gray as your foundational neutral that requires nothing from your complexion. Soft sage as an environmental signal of calm authority. Deep burgundy. The one red family color that amplifies rather than fights cooled post-60 undertones. Warm taupe over camel. Same warmth, gray neutralized in. Chocolate brown as your dark anchor in warm light. These are not trends. They are the result of understanding what your skin is doing now and choosing colors that work with it rather than against it. You have always known how to dress well. Now you know how to dress for the woman you are today, specifically, intelligently, and without apology.